You know, life can be beautiful and at the same time can give you a lot of train wrecks. Yeah, I know, Car, I know. Well, what can I say, guys? How do I start? Watching this movie made me less inspired than actually myself. Okay, not really. Oh my god! I saw the most anticipated movie of the year. The Playmobil movie. No, it's not. It's not. The rumors are right, people. Whenever you hear that there is a Playmobil the movie, it's bad. It's really bad. It's so bad. The trailer didn't lie. And guess what? This movie is so bad that, one, I just went to the movie theater, at my previous movie theater that I usually go to, and I was the only guy in the audience, plus one. Yeah, there was another one, there was another guy, but totally empty. The Playmobil movie was totally empty. And it was basically a mainstream movie theater. And two, this movie is so bad that they charged me only $5. No taxes. $5! Look, here it is. It's the first time in my life that here it charged me just $5. And it wasn't even Tuesday. Oh man! You know, guys, this is gonna be one of those long ones in which right at the get-go, I have to talk to you about almost the whole movie. I don't care if I spoil it, but this is something that I have to talk to you about. Because this movie is bad. It's really bad. But, you know what? It's a movie that you have to see it to believe it because... Okay, I'm not gonna force you to see it to believe it. That would be so cruel about me, but man, man, how can I describe the Playmobil movie? You know, years ago, when we had this fear in our heads that the Lego movie was gonna be a big commercial pandering to children movie in which we are gonna hate it, and boom! We got it wrong. The Lego movie actually became also one of my favorite movies of the decade, and it still has it kind of teach everyone that you can make everything lighthearted, but at the same time have some passion, charisma, and care for the toys that we played when we were children. So yeah, the Lego movie did that. The Playmobil movie is the total opposite. It's the perfect proof of what will have happened if the Lego movie went to the wrong direction. And I'm here to tear it apart. I'm gonna tell you. Tear it apart. Okay, first of all, you might be wondering, okay, what the frick is Playmobil? I'll tell you a little bit what Playmobil. Playmobil is, the best way I can describe it is the German second poor man Lego franchise, which is basically technically the same, but with less room for creativity. Let's say, with the people and with the round faces and all these things. I'm sorry if I can't say much about it because I never played or care enough to know about Playmobil. I just really I only know it by name, just that. So anyway, how do we start the movie? Oh boy, that the movie starts out with, first of all, with the probably some blandest animation production that we barely know, but and then we start out with live action. Yeah, we start out with live action where we see this girl with pink highlights. She's played by Anya Taylor-Joy, who is a girl named she plays this girl named Marla. How can I say? Anya Taylor-Joy. I think she was on The Witch. That's from what I can remember. She is probably living in in Planet Disney Channel, where she got her. Everything is bright. It had lots of stuff, lots of posters. Everything is bright and colorful. She acts like she's on the freaking Disney Channel. She even kind of say that I got a passport, so I want to tell my parents that I want to go around the world, see the world before I go to college. So she has kind of like this hopeful dreams, and she shares it with her little brother, of course. And the little brother that he kind of like they kind of always choose that I'm just a precious boy who always talk like that. Typical Disney Channel thing. And speaking of Disney Channel thing, they begin to sing this high school musical I'm gonna see this world thing that is that once they begin to sing and act like the perfect family from the Disney Channel, I was like, okay, we're gonna go into this kind of movie. And yeah, they play with the Playmobil and all that until out of a whiplash, the police come to say, your parents were in an accident. No. I know it's tragic. But in storytelling, in storytelling and cinematic universe, that was technically a big giant tonal whiplash. I did mention a lot that I don't mind tonal whiplashes. I don't mind them because technically life is like that. Although you could at least kind of build it up a little bit. But then what happened? 4 years later, apparently they just come back to the same house, in which now the ambience turned from bright and sunny to dark and musty, but still everything looks like kind of like the same. The girl Marla grows up. Her little brother named Charlie, he grows up also, and then they just kind of begin to talk and bicker, saying that now that the parents are dead, now she has to take responsibility for him. Now she said that I grew up and all this stuff, and she began to talk like like they're really kind of like like this bitter, arrogant, angry girl that how these kind of movies show that, for example, there's this bright and joyful girl that something bad happens and then she loses faith and he has to take responsibility. Well, apparently the kid's saying that you're no fun and all this stuff. Apparently they mentioned that there is gonna be something with on a toy convention that she refused to bring him there. It all goes into so much how can I say, speed, that I was not confused what is going on. I mean, the movie then has the kid running away to this toy convention, and we haven't even established what the hell is going on. The movie didn't even set and took its pacing to let us know how the death of the family affected it. It just went to 4 years later, and that's it. The kid runs away. Apparently the kid forgets that there is 6 GPS, and then, well, the kid sneaks into this toy store, which there's going to be some kind of opening or something like that. And that he goes there, he gets inside, and then the Marla character, the sister, she just runs, and then she passes the security by saying, "Hi, I gotta see you. Go check out somewhere, buy or something like that. My brother says he's coming here and all that." She called, and by the way, first of all, the security guard is really pudgy and old. You know, like the typical they want in this kind of movies. But second of all, the girl is so out of her mind that she doesn't even. She just runs into the out of bounds place. Sorry that I'm not putting my words correctly, but you get the idea. But she never says, for example, "Hi, I lost my little brother and I think he got there. Please let me in." No, she just barges in. She just barges in. No common sense, let me tell you. So apparently, then the movie kind of says that the kid just went into this toy convention, in which everything is built up, like magically into. Let's say that if that was kind of like the Lego movie, Will Arnett is gonna be baffled by jealousy because he built his world in a basement, but this one they build it up in a whole convention. Everything is the world there is, and the kid is there, kind of aspiring. And then when he finds his sister, she's like, "No, come on, where are you going? You little." She didn't say prick, but she's kind of like 10 meters away from telling him little prick. But the kid is like, "No, you're no fun. And besides, I just went here because I found this, and there's this space where there is where we used to play with the Playmobil. We have this Viking, and I had to put it there because it was meant to be. I know that this was meant to be." How? We never established how this was meant to be. So apparently there are scenes missing. It's missing. And then what happened is that the kid put it there, and the Marla character began to act like a freaking asshole. And the kid also begins to say that you forgot how to. What about you? You forget about adventuring. You wanted to go with the passport. With this passport you had expectation and all this stuff. But then, out of nowhere, apparently the lighthouse of the Playmobil set, it suddenly turns all the lights off. Then the lighthouse shoots some kind of ray of light, and this is where they transport into the animated version, where the two people, the Marla character and the Charlie character, they get into the Playmobil movie. And by the way, what I'm telling you about it is just the first 5 minutes of this movie. We're gonna have a long talk! And now, we finally into the world of the Playmobil movie. And lo and behold, Marla, she's basically, the regular teenage girl. Teenage girl turned adult and all this stuff. And for our kid, Charlie, I forgot to mention that he's played by Gabriel Bateman. Because he touched the Viking. He is, instead of being a kid, he's a Viking with a beard, with a kid's voice, of course. man, and in the first few minutes of animation, I realized what is going wrong with animation. First of all, they wanted to establish, for example, that the main character has difficulty moving because Playmobil are basically, again, like Legos, stiff. They can't bend well, and yeah, that's what happens. But then apparently later is that she kind of masters the whole thing. And yeah, unfortunately, let me tell you another thing that I remember. The disadvantage of Playmobil that compared to Lego is that Lego is basically used to build, but Playmobil doesn't have those kind of options. You can't switch, construct, deconstruct, destroy, build, and all this stuff. That's all the things. Okay, but continuing on with the animation, you're gonna notice that then apparently the movie technically breaks its own rules when the character begins to, bending their arms, their legs, they begin to move normally, which I can't help to compare to the Lego movie, because at least in the Lego movie there was this attention to detail in which they established the rules of how Legos move. They are creative, but at the same time they play out with their limitations. But not in this one. In this one it's like, everything goes. Everything goes. So what happens later is that apparently they are transported into the section of the Viking Wars, and yeah, the kid begins to play around that he's strong and he wins the battle for the Vikings against apparently barbaric natives. But of course Marley's like, no, we gotta get back to that lighthouse, and we're gonna go home. But still, the kid just wants to, have fun. But then the plot, of course, comes when apparently some pirates, because the movie then decided to go into autopilot, they capture the kid because of some stupid thing that the kid does, and it involves catapulting. Let me tell you also that this movie is gonna have a lot of characters doing catapulting. Another thing that goes there. So yeah, they capture him, and by the way, I forgot to mention also that this movie pretends that it wants to be a musical, because once in a while they want to sing a song, but the songs is not as diverse as it wants to be. I mean, at least in Frozen 2, it's aware that it's a musical, and once in a while there's music almost every single time. But in this movie, it's almost like if Chris from Total Drama, he decided to go on with the show and say, time for singing. Yeah, there's the biking song, of course. What happens is that we got a chase scene, which has lots of it, and during that chase scene, we also meet this kind of like this slacker dude with a beard named Dell. He's played by Jim Gaffigan. Yeah, I know, IMDb. And at this moment, yeah, it kind of go into cartoony antics and all this stuff, and then we jump into the Wild West because they lose the pirates in the car who have the kid trapped. Because they teleport. At convenience, let me tell you. Because, here's the thing. We get the chasing on the road. And then it goes for like 4 minutes, I think. And then, after 4 minutes, after this chasing, then suddenly it disappears because it teleports. And I was like, you mean to tell me that these guys, during all this time, they could teleport? Oh man. So they go into, so Marla, she gets kind of like this antagonistic rivalry with this Dell character. And lo and behold, Faith encounters them again in the Wild West because she goes there, to try to find out, because she gets lost, of course. She got lost, and it leads her to the town on the Wild West. While Dell, of course, he is trying to, in his slacker ways, he's trying to make money, because he's the only good, because he was selling hay for the horses, but the hay apparently is pink, and of course, but the cowboys don't like it because whatever they eat this sparkly hay, they sprout wings, almost like it is made of Red Bull. At least unlike something bullshit that I hate, at least I can buy that it's because it's a wizard. Because yeah, magic. So what happens is that Marla tries to bribe Dell to save his brother because she says that he's the only guy who has a van, and she needs it, to move around. And there they gotta go into this kind of road trip because he say, hey, I know a lot of people because I'm technically slacker Nick Wilde. And then, of course, we are introduced to the villain, of course, when we see the perspective of Charlie, the kid who became a Viking. What happened is that he alongside other characters who are technically good fighters or important characters, they're captured by. Sorry, is that? I know. I'm boggling my mind on this one. The main villain is none other than this this Caligula guy, this Roman emperor. What was his name? Emperor Maximus. He's played by Adam Lambert, and through his song, he explains that he just doing this all for fun. That he just picks up all these people in order to make them battle in a coliseum against a beast, so for the fun of it. At this point, I gotta say at least one thing, at least one of two positives that I can say about this movie. Emperor Maximus, as lame as the villain is, or as lame as you can tell, I have a kind of like a blast with this guy because Adam Lambert, apparently, you can tell that he kind of knows that he's in a shitty movie, but he can say, whatever, I'm gonna have fun with this guy. And he kind of does. And also, as lame as his song is, the villain song is actually the one of the better songs that this movie had. So much that is played again during the ending credits. So yeah, if there's something positive that I can tell about this, it's the villain song and this character, of course. And yeah, we see them, killing off a Black Knight and the kid is trapped in, alongside, what was it? I think it's an Amazonian or kind of like a robot chick, I kind of don't remember, a caveman, and the ex-captain of the General Maximus lackeys, which is a pirate named Bloodbones, and he's played by Kenan Thompson, by the way. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got our villain. So back with the Marla character and the Dell character. So apparently Dell says that he knows someone who might help them, who might help her, find her brother. And the friend that he decides to go with, they go to the city and they must find this secret agent guy named Rex Dasher. Rex Dasher is playing none other than the guy who played Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe. Well, dogs. Apparently the dogs outside, they get excited when I mention Daniel Radcliffe. And they should be, because Daniel Radcliffe and the character of Rex Dasher is probably the second only thing good about this movie. Because it is during these moments that it becomes, it clearly knows that, how can I say that, they wanted a bet, kind of like sorry about that, yeah, they wanted to create something similar to Batman from the Lego movie. I mean, we know, Batman is my favorite DC superhero, and the Lego Batman is awesome, I admit that. And it's funny that Rex Dasher in this one is technically the best part of the movie, I'll say. He's suave, he's a little bit narcissistic, he has this cool glasses, he has a cool voice, he's basically kind of James Bondy the whole thing. He's an exaggeration of James Bond. But man, during this whole sequence, it's the most action-packed. Some of the, and yeah, still the jokes are so, they're lame and all this stuff, but I'm gonna hand it to Daniel Radcliffe to try with that kind of material. So funny enough is that the trailers that I've seen, they kind of make him that he is technically the hero. But you know, unfortunately, it isn't, because once he disappears and once he is half out of the picture, he doesn't do so much. So, in my opinion, the Playmobil movie should have benefit instead of making a movie about this guy instead of a copycat of the Lego movie. Whew. Because after all that cool scenes, he gets knocked out by, you know, the pirate lackeys of General Maximus. So technically what happens is that they made this whole thing so that Marla could get information about where to go next. In this case, they were looking at the security footage of the car that disappeared. And they find out that it is from a brand that Dell technically knows, which is on a sci-fi world. It's a sci-fi world where they go with this female, where they have to meet this female Jabba the Hutt that Dell technically, owes some money. And there they meet this robot, which is technically kind of like a poor man Wall-E, that falls in love with Mel, which I'll get to that why he had a poor choice. And they go to her so she can tip her off with the Viking gold that Mel happens to have to bribe Dell. I forgot to mention that. You know how forgettable this movie is that they gave us. Yeah, she gives out the information, but unfortunately, when Dell technically promised more, Marla is like, I only had two Viking coins, so I can't give her 4 and all this stuff, and it makes her angry and all this stuff. And yada and all this stuff. They say the guy like, you lied to me. I had to because I had to save my brother. But of course they're safe. To put a short story, the robot saves him. That's it. And of course, it's Dell is angry. He goes in separate ways when they're in the forest and all this stuff. And then, of course, we also still have the subplot of the kid who apparently he befriends the other prisoners. And what happens is that there's this escape plan of which one of them conveniently managed to knock out the guards because she had tentacles on her hair, and I was like, why didn't you do that before? And then they had the failed attempt to go to a pirate ship. They almost had a song with the pirate captain that it just cut out because he gets knocked out. They failed to escape. They bring out, then later we get another scene in which they later bring out, you know, Rex Dasher, now a prisoner. And he tells them, your sister is coming. Oh yeah. And apparently the kid, by convenience, gets super strong enough to, you know, to make a second attempt to free the other characters, but for some reason, he just decides to stay behind for no reason, only to get captured again, considering that this kid, by convenience, is strong. Can you see that this movie is full of conveniences? More about the character of Marla and Charlie, and how this movie fails to build up, you know, character on these characters. Let's talk about Marla. During the whole movie, she's really unlikable. Absolutely unlikable. I keep hearing people saying that she does a good social performance. She's a good actress and all this stuff. Yeah, she can be. I mean, her performance is not exactly horrible, but the way they wrote her character, she is, unfortunately, she's 1,000 times worse than, you know, imagine if you make so unlikable the Jennifer Godwin character of Labyrinth. That's the best way I can describe this character, but during this whole time, even from the start of the movie, I kind of hated this character even before she became the bitter nutcase. I mean, the first time she's technically like someone who sees rainbows and sunshine everywhere. Kind of like the worst manufacturization of a Disney Channel character. But then when she becomes, you know, bitter, because she loses her chance to, you know, to seek and explore the world, because she now has stopped being, you know, so she can become responsible on her life duties now that to, you know, take care of the parents, take care of her brother since her parents died. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, especially since they didn't build that. We never see her, you know, building up a character on how she is struggling with, you know, the loss of the parents. The least we see is that they just open the door, yells at her brother, and she just brings out groceries. That's it. Yeah, that's it. It's not enough. And then even when she goes into the cartoon form, she's so annoying, so unlikable that we just don't buy that she cares for her brother and she just wants to return to safety. At this point, it technically feels like she's just doing it just for it doesn't. It doesn't tell her, you know, hey, why didn't they make this movie, for example, saying, hey, if my brother is there, he's doing fine, I'm free to, you know, going around the world. I know, it sounds mean-spirited, but that could have been kind of like a interesting setup for this. Especially when the movie tried to cram us that she carries around, you know, this passport that that 4 years ago she finally had it, and she said that, man, it's gonna change things. I'm gonna go around the world. Girl, you know how much it costs to go almost around the world? Oh, am I kidding? And then, I don't know, for some reason, I don't know why she decided to carry it around when she goes, you know, to look for her brother. It's technically kind of risky to bring out a passport everywhere. And yeah, she technically is kind of like a reminder to say, to, you know, that of how she was and all this stuff. Yeah, a spoiled brat. And now she's even more as a spoiled brat. And the kid, let me tell you, the kid, I don't know, there is something about him that he's not exactly unlikable. He's less unlikable than the Marla character. But if you wanted to show him, that he's technically frail or innocent, I can't buy it, since during the whole movie he's just a bearded Viking. I know they just wanted him, to make him, they just wanted to say that, yeah, he's big, burly, he's a Viking, but deep down he's a child. You need a little bit more than that, and I can't buy it. I didn't buy it, because it kind of shows that he has the strength, and he's basically a little bit smarter than this. But he does. But his strength really comes out of convenience. It doesn't feel like there is an imminent threat to his situations. And that's the thing that kind of I have this nitpick out of it. Okay. For me, I would like to talk to you about the other characters. Like, for example, Dale is, they kind of want him to build up that he's a good cook, but no, you didn't earn it, because we only see him go once, and they just talk about it instead of having more scenes of him doing the cooking, and doesn't establish that. And the character, his lines are very lame. Again, the only characters who I already told you that are basically worth it are the General Maximus and the Rex Dasher character. The rest are technically forgettable. Okay, good. Let's continue with the movie. So where did this lead to? Where was I? Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, Marla separates from Dale because she was a total asshole. And she's stuck with, with a robot who has a crush on her. So she just walks around, apparently, into the lost woods. They'll be trying to reach out, apparently, the Candy Kingdom. And apparently, when she gets frustrated, throws the passport, he accidentally hits it on the eye of a fairy. But the fairy's like, no problem. Okay, let me help you out. How? Okay, I can grant you one wish, because I already granted the wish to the other guy, bearded guy that I found out. And apparently this fairy has some guideline saying that, I kind of forget. It's kind of forgettable, but let's say that it ends up with them, a musical. A princess musical that it goes into technically this Polly Pocket world, kind of telling her that she gotta open her heart to have fun and all this stuff, in which basically it arts her, it turns her into a the pretty princess that you always see with a pink backpack and a sword. She gave her a magic carpet in order to fly into the Colosseum to rescue her brother. We get kind of like this lame moment, and then we finally get to the climax in the Colosseum, and we finally get to reveal the beast. The beast had the thing about the beast. Is that it had kind of like this cat eyes, glowing cat eyes, I'll say. And in my head, it was like, God damn it! If the beast is a live-action cat, I'm gonna explode from my seat, because that's the same thing that they did in the Lego Ninjago movie. And when they finally gonna reveal the beast, I was like fully on the edge of my seat. But thank God, these guys are not as creative as the team from the Lego movie or Lego Ninjago. The beast is a T-Rex. Yeah, it's a T-Rex. Shit, I'm sorry to see that. Ah, man. We got climax scenes, climax out, Dell appears out of nowhere, then of course they decided to, use the, I think it's probably, I don't know if I'm gonna call it the chestnut gun of the movie, which is none other than the sparkly hay, to feed the T-Rex. So that the T-Rex sprouts wings and apparently becomes tamed. Yet, apparently this hay is made of Red Bull. And then of course they hear the other prisoners. They come again. They punish General Maximum, of course. Things are happy dory. We didn't get, exciting scenes, of course, and then Charlie and the Marla character, they fly off to the lighthouse, and they're back to, being live action, where they find the pudgy life security guard, and he say, hey, where have you been? You found him. It took you 5 minutes. Oh, 5 minutes. So apparently then brother and sister made peace, and they were beginning to question if that was reality or they were just in a freaking hallucination, which I don't understand what the freak happened. I don't know. Maybe this convention was created by Willy Wonka itself. No, movie. You didn't earn it. And yeah, it ends up, then going outside, and then the Marla character, apparently she finds a car that says Rex Dasher. And yeah, the car really looks like Rex Dasher's car from that moment. And no, it doesn't reveal that Rex Dasher was real, or he doesn't even, pull out his, by saying, hey, it's me, Daniel Radcliffe. I'm Rex Dasher. To show that probably Rex Dasher had some magic on it. They didn't do that. They didn't earn it. And to top it all off, this movie felt so confident for a sequel that after the first set of credits, we get a scene in which the pudgy security guard, he looks around and he finds on the floor the General Maximus toy. He puts them, on his plate, and then we see him laugh, and then end credits with the villain song, which is probably the only song that I could tolerate. And I came out like saying, man, this movie awful. It sucked. But you know what? I had a little bit of a blast blasting this movie because, and don't get me wrong, it's awful. It indeed what everyone says is this is the Lego movie if the Lego movie went to the wrong direction. Because first of all, there is no mystery, or there's no, it didn't build up, cleverly saying that everything is from, the imagination of the kid. It plainly saying that they go into this isekai world. At least in the Lego movie, they kept that secret at least until, until almost the climax of the film, in which it showed that this is all the imagination of the kid. I know that this kind of ruins the second part of the of the Lego movie, Lego movie Part 2. But you know what? I like the Lego movie Part 2. I do like it, unlike many people. But this one, it is in the beginning telling you that everything is live action, and then they go to this world of, of Legos. The mystery is not there. And it doesn't, and the whole movie, I had labyrinth in my head. I don't know, it's not only Lego movie gone wrong, but also labyrinths go wrong. Why do I have labyrinth in my head? I don't care. I don't care. The acting is subpar. The animation, I already told you, it breaks its own rules. They don't have an inch of a passion on it. It's just a product. A product that I don't think that it feels, again, like something that could come up to direct-to-DVD, but even direct-to-DVDs sometimes has some kind of passion to this. Yeah, bus! Yeah, ambulance! The ambulance apparently is here to take me away from this madness. Alright. Again, the only things I like are only the craziness of this villain, and Rex Dasher was actually the only thing that brings a little bit of amusement to this train wreck. So to put this cap on it, Playmobil, I really, really highly don't recommend it. I don't like this film. It is indeed going to be one of the worst of the year. But you know what? I think that Wonder Park, in my opinion, is worse than this. Because there's a lot more to talk about. There's a lot about Wonder Park that makes much things worse than the Playmobil movie. Which this is the only nice thing I could tell about this film. But you know what? No, I have nothing to say. Playmobil, it shows you that not everything is awesome.